What's going on, everybody? It's Ricky with Videohomicide, back with day 18 of the 31 Days of Horror 2022 edition, round 2. We're going to keep it going with a film directed by Tom Holland. I almost said Don Mancini, but Don Mancini is the guy that wrote the story. So we've got Child's Play from, I believe, 1988. I was going to say, if this is from 1987, that's going to be fucking a coincidence, man, but God damn, this is one of my childhood like go-to films, like even more than the last film that I was just talking about, Day of the Dead. Like Chucky, man, fucking Chucky. Everyone my age knows about Chucky. I think Chucky's like sort of a gateway drug into horror films back then. Like everybody, I was born in 92, so by the time I was like 5-6 years old, like I knew who Chucky was. I knew who Michael Myers was, Jason, Freddy, maybe not Freddy yet. I think Freddy came along a little later. I was probably about 7 years old or some shit like that. But Chucky has just, I don't even remember life without Chucky, if that makes sense. I've actually got him chilling down there with his bandana and fucking Videohomicide shirt. Really wanted to get this on the list. I was looking at the shelf and I was like, man, what do I want to talk about? I want to talk about some of my favorites too. I don't just want to keep doing fucking Argento flicks, because then I could literally finish off the list just doing Argentos. But I wanted to go for another childhood classic, so I grabbed fucking Chucky, Child's Play. I call it Chucky. The story of the notorious Lakeshore Strangler, Charles Lee Ray, transferred his soul from himself into that of the body of a doll. The night he was gunned down in a toy store by this cop, played by Chris Sarandon, who's fucking awesome, also in Fright Night. And, of course, Chucky is voiced by Brad Dourif, who is one of my I just said one of my favorites, but like one of my favorite films, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. He plays, I forget what his name is, but he's like, one of the parts that McMurphy fucking ends up getting what he gets. So, really good film. If you've never seen One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, highly recommended. Okay, highly recommended. Jack Nicholson is that's probably the best film with Jack Nicholson, I could confidently say. Like, and I love The Shining, but Cuckoo's Nest, he plays like, Joe Blow everyman, you know what I mean? Like, I just love him. I love how he has like a fucking deck of cards with naked girls on it, smokes like a chimney, he's gambling all the time. Oh man, just love the character of McMurphy. I don't love the reason why he's in the fucking prison, which I won't get into right now, but I definitely love the character, and I love all the side characters. You get Martini. Christopher Lloyd is in there. I forget what his name is in the film, but he's fucking awesome. The dude from, I believe it's Michael Berryman from Hills Have Eyes is in this film. Danny DeVito as Martini, of course. And then that one guy that's like, he's like saying something. They're doing like a little bit of a round circle meeting, and he's like, what do you call me a queer? And he goes like that. He like goes like that, like some like weird like gay like motion, like how they would do it back in the day. And then like the way Nicholson is like reacting to that is like exactly how I would react to something like that. Like, I'm so fucking bad for like someone will say something and I would just like start cracking up, man, because I've seen so many fucking movies that my humor is just out of control, man. But sense of humor or whatever, I think a lot of fucked up shit is funny. So let's get into Chucky, because I just talked about fucking Cuckoo's Nest for like 5 minutes. But I love the idea behind this, and I know the original idea was like to be like, it was supposed to be like a blood buddy thing, like where the kid like pricks his finger and like the fucking doll with the doll or something like that. I've listened to a lot of commentaries and shit about this stuff and interviews with Don Mancini and shit like that, but I like the idea of like Charles Lee Ray like transferring his like this guy that's like a straight up killer, like putting his soul into this doll, and like the way they play this film, they play it like believable. You know what I mean? Like I always loved at the beginning of the movie when I was a kid how he was like making the breakfast. He like burnt the shit out of the toast and fucking cereal with like a fucking 18 things of sugar on it. Like, it's just like a cute like little moment, and then it's gonna like go south, and it does. It goes south for Andy Barclay in this film. Very traumatizing, but basically, if I had to pick out some of my favorite scenes, I'd definitely have to go with. I think my favorite scene in the film is the first scene, the opening scene where he does the transformation of soul into the doll. And then my second favorite scene is and to get into that scene where at the beginning when, you know, he's going, like, he gets fucked over by his buddy, and then he's being chased by this cop still, and he's fucking bleeding out, and he's like cursing them. He's like, now hear this, I'm gonna get you, and I'm gonna get Eddie no matter what. And then, like, obviously he ends up getting Eddie, and that's a fucking moment in the film that grosses me out because of all the rats. Like, there's fucking rats everywhere, man. I can't handle that shit. Fuck, that is like traumatizing. Especially, I had fucking rats at my house that I used to live at, man, and it was like hell on earth. So, but anyways, the scene where Chucky goes and visits his voodoo, like, witch doctor, John, like, that whole fucking interaction I think is so powerful and strong, because like most people would be like, holy fuck, like, this isn't happening. Like, John, like, quickly understands, like, knows that, like, this is fucking his use of the magic he taught him. You know, fuck, man, it's just such a crazy, I love voodoo shit like that, you know, like, where it's played straight like that, and it's so cool. Like, you know, and he pulls out his fucking, like, voodoo doll, and he goes like, you shouldn't tell your customers where you hide things like this, John, gets you in trouble every time. And then he's like, give me that. Like, man, me and my brother actually did a reenactment of that scene. It's on my channel, but it's blocked, or it's private. If I get enough fucking comments asking about it, I will put that shit out. Okay, it's ridiculous, but and it's word for word. So yeah, 666 in the comments plus, right? Yo, show that Chucky movie. But obviously, you know, I love when Chucky's Chucky, and being a cocksucker with Andy Barclay's mom, you know, and he's like, you filthy slut, like, you goddamn hoe, you filthy slut, and I'll teach you to fuck with me. All that shit is excellent. Obviously, the end scene where Chucky's all burnt to shit and he's walking through the house with, like, the knife, like, that is awesome. You know, like, Chucky wasn't like it was scary, sure, but it was more like fun. It was more exciting, you know. And I think Chucky 2, Child's Play 2, is more of a downer film, and then 3 sort of a little bit more fun. People can love or hate 3, whatever the fuck. I love every Chucky movie in its own way, but I know that there is some dog shit ones. But again, man, this film, I'm trying to see how long it is. It can't be that long. I think it's like 80 something minutes. 87, so it's under fucking an hour and a half, and like all this enjoyment for like 30 years, man. God damn, I love Chucky, man. I'm like, last year for my birthday, my mom fucking calls me up. She's like, well, what do you want for your birthday? I was like, I want one of those Chucky dolls from Spencer's. And sure as fucking shit, a couple days pass or whatever, and she shows up with that Chucky doll. I love it, man. That thing's been out here forever. And I even have this new coffin shelf that you won't be able to see right now, but I will feature it in a video shortly. So stay tuned for that. God damn. I feel like I fucked this video up but I don't know. I feel like it's gonna be alright. I talked about fucking One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest for half of it, so how could it go wrong? Yeah. One of the creepiest fucking parts in this film is that weird doctor guy that's like, Andy, no, there's nothing wrong. And he gets, like, sliced in the ankle with the knife. Like, that guy is so fucking creepy and freakish, man. But I love Chris Sarandon in this film. He's awesome. I love how, like, he plays it off like he doesn't believe her, and he doesn't believe her. And then when he does, it's like, yeah, man, this is real. And at the end, obviously, there's that fucking Rob Reiner looking guy. He's like, now do you believe us? And he goes, yeah. But who's going to believe me? I love it. I love Child's Play, man. That's it. That's all I can say about that one, man. I appreciate everybody for watching. Tomorrow's day 19. I don't know what the fuck the movie's going to be. It's currently the 15th right now, so I'm good for a few days. But I definitely got to, you know, step it up and get some videos made here and get this shit going, because I do not want to fail this fucking annual challenge or annual event that I want to do this for the fucking rest of my life, basically, like do like 31 days of horror and just talk about the fucking movies and shit that's related to them, you know, because this isn't, it's like my channel, like, sure, like I review these movies if you want to call it that, but it's more of like documenting like my own personal experience with the film, you know. So if it ends up me having to talk about Cuckoo's Nest, and that's just the way it's got to fucking go. Best line in Cuckoo's Nest is when my second favorite line of Cuckoo's Nest is when he takes them fishing and they're all in the thing and that guy comes and he's like, you can't take this boat out. And he's like, yeah, we've booked this boat, blah, blah, blah. And he's like going through all of the fucking names and he's like, that's Dr. Martini, the famous Dr. Martini. Or I don't think it was Martini, but he says the famous, like it makes it fucking more than it is. But my favorite line from Cuckoo's Nest is probably, oh man, I have to think about that. I'll have to come back to that one later. There's so many good lines in the film. Obviously, juicy fruit is like that's not. I wouldn't even really count that one, but like you know, the whole. It's not really a line, but like the whole bit of dialogue that he delivers when he's watching the World Series game, and you know, like everything about it. And he's like, "Someone give me a fucking wiener before I die." Like I just like, oh man, I just feel like life is so fucking different compared. Like when you watch a film like that, even though it's like based on a bunch of like loonies or whatever. Or people with mental illness, like, you know, it just feels like so much different, you know. Everyone is, like, even I was watching something, shout out to Angel and Z podcast. It's a graffiti podcast, but there's a guy on there, Mike Iraq, famous graffiti writer. His name's Rehab. He said, like, back in the day, like, you'd meet someone or whatever, or you'd give someone a call, and you'd be like, yo, meet me here, and then they would be there. And he's like, there was no, like, text them 20 times, being like, yo, where the fuck are you, or any of that shit. Like, oh, man, what a day. What a day we live. What a time you've chose to be born. A little quote from Shogun Assassin. But anyways, thanks for watching. Again, 666 in the comments. Who knows what video's next. Yeah, I appreciate everybody's fucking, you know, continued, you know, friendship, you know what I mean? Shout out to the Trash Dash, Radioactive, you know, everyone that comes through to the fucking live streams, obviously everybody, you know. I don't want to just shout Trash Dash and Radioactive. Obviously there's tons of other fuckers that show up. You know, there's a homie from like local to me, like 20 minutes away from me. I forget like the exact channel name, that's why I'm not saying it, but you know who you are. Who else? I don't know, Eddie G outside the 9. He's always fucking in and out of the shows and shit. Like there's just a bunch of fuckers that pop through and just have a little chatty wat and we have a good time. So if you guys ever catch, I believe it's Ivan Automata, he says, he always leaves a comment like, fuck, I miss this. And like I said in the one comment, I was like, I usually shoot for Friday nights. Obviously I didn't last night because I had my fucking girl here. But Friday nights is usually the go for. Next Friday night, I'm pretty much I can guarantee there'll be one. And with that being said, I appreciate everybody for watching, and adios.